Welcome to the JayGravesReport College Football Weekly Wrap-Up, Week 8. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Wrapping up the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. First game, rivalry game. USC goes to Notre Dame to play the Fighting Irish. Now, Notre Dame wins this ball game 14-10, snaps a 5-game losing streak at the crib to these boys. But does anybody really care? Because both these dubs are dubs. Let's move on and talk about the game that was supposed to have happened. Grambling State was supposed to play Jackson State in Jackson this weekend for homecoming. All of a sudden, 24 hours before the game starts, the Duns at Grambling decide they got athlete foot, that the mold and the mildew has irritated their ankles and toenails. All of a sudden, these boys are car sick because they were on a bus for 15 hours the week before going to Indianapolis to play a football game. Who does that, bro? So these guys decided they're going to pull a sit-in and not even play the football game when they supposed to be on the bus getting ready for a football game. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 24, Auburn, goes to number 7, Texas A&M, to play Johnny Football and Company. Now, Gus Malzahn got these boys rolling. These boys came in there and put up 45 points on Texas A&M that plays no defense. They have to always score 40-plus points to win. They beat Texas A&M 45-41. The reason that they lost this ball game is because the 12th man got carjacked in the parking lot. Before he got to the parking lot, he went out stunting, put some new rims on the ride through the wrong neighborhood with his arm out the window, playing the music too loud. Got jacked, didn't make it to the stadium, and boys lost the ball game. Now, Johnny Football put in work. He ended up still putting in 454, 2 touchdowns in the air, another touchdown on the ground. His boy Mike Evans went for 287 and 2 touchdowns, set a school record, but still lost the ball game because Nick Marshall from Auburn came in the building, put up 236 and 2 touchdowns in the air, and then ran for another 100 yards and put 2 more touchdowns on these Duns. Hey, Gus Malzahn got the Auburn Tigers rolling, even though the dug trees in Auburn are dead. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, let's stay in the SEC. Number 22, Florida, goes to number 14, Mizzou, and get the brakes beat off of them. Now, got beat 36-17. Now, I'm going to say this. For all you people out there talks about the SEC defenses and how great they are. How in the world are the two worst offenses, 2 worst teams in the Big 12, all of a sudden now in the SEC running things? Mizzou is 7-0 right now, putting crazy points on the board against what we call SEC defenses. Johnny Football and Company been destroying defenses in the SEC for the last 2 years. Why? Because they run a spread offense. For years, everybody been talking about how the Big 12 doesn't play defense, and the SEC is known for defenses. The SEC has been known for defenses because nobody threw the football. Everybody ran the football up until the last 2 years because now you got A.J. McCann, you got Aaron Murray, you got Johnny Football, you got boys throwing the ball now. Now you got a Dun named Matty Mark. They came out of nowhere because James Franklin got hurt the week before and put up 295 yards against Florida in his first start. Come on, bro. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 9, UCLA goes to number 13, Stanford, and gets the brakes blown off of them, 24-10. Now, Stanford fell asleep at the wheel a week ago against Utah, but they figured out all they have to do is play the game that they are meant to play. That means they can run the football and play defense. Tyler Gaffney came out there and put up 171 yards on the ground. They held the ball for more than 38 minutes in this ball game, keeping UCLA at bay. That's how you win the ball game, Playboy. Let's move on to the next ball game. the big ball game down in Death Valley. Number 5. Then number 5, Florida State goes to number 3, Clemson, and plays Taj Boyd and company. Now, this game was over before it even started, Playboy, because famous Jameis came in the building and went to work. Put 444 yards and 3 touchdowns on these boys. Sent all these duns in orange to the crib crying. Beat them 51-14. Now, I will say this. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. When famous Jameis went 25 or 27 or 26 or 28, one of the two, in the first game against Pitt, he's the real deal. This is the Heisman Trophy winner. I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. Now, boys, starting to see it. Now, Florida State is number 2 in the BCS ranking. And before long, they're going to be number 1 because the SEC is going to cannibalize itself. Boys are going to start losing ball games. Ain't no way Alabama going to run the table because they still got to play. They may have to play a Mizzou in the SEC championship if they make it. Still got to play LSU. Hey, they got ball games to play. I think they're going to lose out. They're going to lose, and Florida State will be sitting at the number 1 spot, or at the minimum the number 2 spot, because Ohio State and Oregon still playing. One of them guns going to lose. Not everybody's going to go undefeated. There's always 1 or 2 cats left at the end of the day. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport so you can holler at your boat.